Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are live. We're going to be ripping a draft tonight. Shout out to anyone that's already in the chat. All 6 of you guys, I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the stream on your way in. It really helps me out a ton. Tonight, just like yesterday, we're going to be doing a draft while also answering questions. I think tonight we're going to stick to just doing one draft. But maybe if things go perfectly well, we'll do a second one. But more than likely, probably just one draft tonight. I know a lot of you guys are having your guys' draft soon, or you already have your draft. So if you guys have any questions about anything, let me know down below in the chat, and we can talk about anything. Yesterday, we had a lot of people in here, and we were just chatting about a bunch of different things regarding football. So I appreciate you guys for joining in. I'm rocking my 9-inch Nicholas Foles t-shirt for today's stream. If you have Burrow, would you trade JJ for Chase? No, I wouldn't. I would definitely still rather have Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson is pretty clearly better than Jamar Chase. Now, could Jamar Chase outscore Justin Jefferson? Yeah, but I would rather have Justin Jefferson. Again, I don't think stacking is necessarily like the most important thing in redraft, to be completely honest with you. Like, I'm not forcing my hand trying to feel like I need to get a stack in redraft, especially like that. I did post my rankings on Patreon. They are in the link in the video description. If you play in a PPR league, it's my PPR rankings. It's only $7.50. You can cancel it after this month, or you can continue to be a Patreon. I will post my weekly rankings on there as well every single week, and then I answer the comments. So if you leave a comment on there, like if you leave a comment on the YouTube channel, it's like 50-50 if I get to it. If you leave a comment on the Patreon, I answer it every single time because you're paying, obviously. What is your prediction on JT's future? I think Jonathan Taylor gets traded tomorrow. They obviously have a pretty hard deadline on Jonathan Taylor's trade being tomorrow. So if he doesn't get moved, I fully expect him to potentially really fuck things up, right? Because if he doesn't get traded tomorrow, then Jonathan Taylor might be a terrible pick. He might be a terrible pick in fantasy football. He might be a guy that just sits, holds out for a while, and that would be a disaster. You draft and you're just going to keep talking. No, I will draft. Don't worry about it. I mean, the stream started 2 minutes ago. But yeah, I will draft. Jeez. Yo, Big Daddy. What's up, Jordan? How you doing, man? Name all the quarterbacks who are taking round 1 of a 12 teams to reflect 6-point passing touchdown. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Rankings. Just pulling up like the underdog rankings. It would be Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Lamar, Fields, Burrow, Herbert, Lawrence. I'd be fine taking all of those 8 guys in the first round. What are your thoughts on Josh Jacobs? I love Josh Jacobs this season. I'm incredibly high on Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs is going to smash this year. What's up, Brian? Who should I start as my RB2? Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders, or Breece Hall? I'm starting JT, assuming he plays week 1. Who is the wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville? It is Calvin Ridley, 100%. Rank these guys: Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, 9-inch Nicholas Chubb. I would rank them as Chubb, Jacobs, Barkley, Henry. 12-team half PPR picking third. If JJ and McCaffrey go first, is it crazy to take Eckler over Chase? Yes, it is, in my opinion. However, hopefully you're picking 2nd or 8th like me in a week. Yo, what's up, Paulie? How you doing, man? Yo, what is going on, everyone? Lamar QB1 easily. I think he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, top 5 even, but number 1. I'm not sure about that. What's up, Harambe's homeboy? All right, so we are going to get into the draft in roughly a couple of seconds here. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Share screen. Throw the draft onto the screen here. Throw Underdog onto the screen so you guys can see. We're going to do this again, and then real quick, we are going to go to the block text. Yeah, because that just looks a lot better. Thoughts on Connor? If you're talking about James Conner, I think James Conner is going to be pretty good this year. Hope I hit the wrong button, but I guess that doesn't matter. Allen, Etienne, Sanders, or T-Law, Chubb, Javonte. I would rather have T-Law, Chubb, and... No, I'd rather have Allen, Etienne, and Sanders. All right, so we are going to get into the draft in about half of a second here, and then I'm going to continue to answer your guys' questions. If you guys want to draft with me, draft on Underdog Fantasy. If you use promo code Notorious, you will get a first match deposit bonus of up to $100. You deposit $100, they give you an additional $100. You deposit $50, additional $50, $25, additional $25. Minimum deposit on Underdog is $10. So we're going to be doing a draft on there while also answering your guys' questions, talking our way through the draft. And if you do sign up on there, if you are new, it does help me out a ton. So if you're new to the site, make sure you guys sign up using my code. So we're getting to the draft in 2 minutes here. If Bijan is available at the 10th spot, are you auto drafting him? Yes. What do you think about Deshaun Watson? I like Deshaun Watson this year. By the way, who writes your jokes? Should give him a raise. There's no one writes my jokes. They're just off of whatever I think. The only thing written on the screen when you guys are watching the videos is the stats that I talk about. Full PPR, Diggs or St. Brown? Diggs. Kamara, yes or no? I am a no on him. Today told me the Cardinals are tanking for Caleb. Yeah, dude, it's kind of scary, to be honest with you, with the Cardinals. I've been drafting Diggs, and I got a choice of Wilson, Adams, or Henry. Who should I get? I would rather have Diggs over all those guys, but if you had to take a different one, I'd go Adams. Watson over T. Lawrence, drafted both, but wanted Jaguars. I would rather have Lawrence than Watson. Would you take $1 million to never watch football, never play fantasy for the rest of your life? No. No, I would not. Obviously, $1 million would be clutch. It would be sick. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like I necessarily need to. Like, I definitely feel like I need to watch football. Like, I don't know. $1 million wouldn't do it for me. Now, if you said like $20 million, maybe I'll become a fantasy baseball analyst or something like that. So, okay. So we're going to get into the draft here very shortly. Best Ball Mania 4, $25 to enter. I'm going to count this down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have entered the draft here. Again, sorry about the fact that my lights don't work fucking anymore. I didn't break them necessarily, but they did break because I left them on for too long. So next time I buy some LED lights, I'm not going to leave them on all the time. Gibbs or Mark Andrews in the 4th at the 6th spot. I picked Gibbs because I wanted. Yeah, that's fine. I would have taken Andrews, but it is close. Rashad Master Bateman. Thoughts on George Pickens? I think George Pickens is a great player. I think he's going to be decent in fantasy this year. I think Deontay Johnson is the guy to have there, though. I think it's going to be interesting with the hit the like button, everyone. Yeah, that's a fact. Make sure everyone hits the like button. Again, if you want my rankings, I dropped the PPR rankings on my Patreon. It's $7.50 to purchase. You get it for a month. You can cancel it if you want, or you can hold on to it. I'm going to be posting my rankings every single week on there. And then every single question you guys ask on Patreon will be answered. On the YouTube channel, it's 50-50 if I can get to your comment, but on the Patreon, I answer it every single time. You win half the possibility of all your fantasy chips this year, but you have to become a vegan starting today until the Super Bowl. You doing it? Hell no, because I believe in my chances of winning my fantasy leagues. I like meat too much. Pause. All right, so we're getting into the draft here. Hoping at the 11th spot here that we can get maybe a running back to fall to us. If not, this is probably going to be a double wide receiver squad here. Thoughts on James Conner after the Colt McCoy news? I still think James Conner is going to be fine. I actually think that having Joshua Dobbs is better than Colt McCoy, but the Cardinals are still a scary team. But we saw over the last couple of years when there was an injury to Kyler Murray that James Conner was still able to flourish. I'm in a 16-team PPR best ball league. I have the 13th pick overall. Who should I target in the 1st and the 2nd round? In a 16-team league, I'm 100% taking at least one running back there, if not two. So whoever the best running backs are available, that would be my kind of target. So guys like Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs would be like my 1-2 punch there, because you're still going to be able to find receivers later. That's the same thing with 14-team leagues. Like in 14-team leagues, I'm a lot more bullish on the running back position earlier on. Like in a lot of these drafts, if you guys watch that I don't necessarily always take a running back with my 1st or 2nd pick, but basically every single time in a 14-team league, I'm going to do so because I do not want to get buried by the running backs, right? Because by the time things swing back around after you're the 13th pick, things are going to get gruesome, especially in a 16-team league. It's even worse. Make sure you guys hit that like button, like I said off the rip. So the draft begins. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Bijan Robinson, Austin Eckler. Nothing really all that out of the ordinary. I guess having Bijan go ahead of Eckler to some would be out of the ordinary, but I think that's going to be close to the normal. In my rankings that I posted on Patreon, I have Bijan ranked ahead of Austin Eckler. We are going to have a running back rankings video coming out very soon, but I'm waiting for the Jonathan Taylor news to fall. So we're up on the clock here. A.J. Brown, Nick Chubb, our best players available. think we're just going to go ahead and go with 9-inch Nicholas Chubb here and then swing back and get a receiver in the second round. He going Diggs. I love Stephon Diggs this season. I was someone who was kind of iffy on him, but I've recently turned a lot more towards favoriting him. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown off of the board. My best player available is Davante Adams, but I have drafted Davante Adams on Underdog 7 gazillion times. So we're not going to go with him. We're going to go with A.J. Brown in this scenario. Again, I'm only going to do probably 15 total best ball manias. I've done, I think, 70 total drafts. So I don't want to get buried by, like, if Davante Adams sucks, right? I've made the call. I love Davante Adams. If he sucks, I don't want a lot of my teams to get destroyed by that. Thoughts on Garrett Wilson? I love Garrett Wilson this season. I think Garrett Wilson is one of the better receivers in the NFL. I do worry slightly about the fact that I think that the Jets might end up being a disaster, but as a whole, I wouldn't want to tell you that that is a terrible pick, right? I think Garrett Wilson's going to end up being pretty decent this year. I have him ranked as a top 11 receiver. I'm shooting defense week 1. Would you play the Jags versus the Colts, the Broncos versus the Raiders, the Falcons versus the Panthers? Definitely the Jags versus the Colts. Lulz. Yeah, I think the Jags are going to play pretty well defensively up against the Colts, though the problem is the Jags defense isn't all that great, right? You're really just playing them because of the matchup. Jags defense is far from what they used to be. So the Cleveland Browns week 17 in terms of stacking for this tournament here, they play up against, let's see, the Cleveland Browns. I think it's the Jets. Yeah, it's the Jets. And then the Eagles play up against the Cardinals. So it's obviously correlation week 17 doesn't matter at all in your redraft leagues, but I do think it matters at least somewhat in these tournaments. So our team, Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown to start, obviously would be a wet dream to get Jalen Hurts in the back of the third round. It is basically impossible to get that in best ball, and redraft is very possible. If you had to make out with your mom to keep fantasy football, would you? Probably not. Thoughts on stacking running backs in the first 2 rounds in 10-team PPR? I think it's fine. I think in 10-team leagues, though, it is a lot easier to find a lot of running backs in the middle rounds. Like the running back dead zone isn't as brutal. So I'm more likely to just go ahead and go running back and receiver. But again, it's all about the value, right? There's a chance you can get at the turn Chubb and Saquon, right? That would be a wet dream. You're saying to stream the Jags versus the Colts, but I'm torn because my other league, Anthony Richardson, is my quarterback 1 starter. Well, what I will tell you is next week, that is week 1, when I do my quarterback start sit video, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I will have Anthony Richardson listed as a start. Now, if you had to play him, right, your back's against the wall, you're gonna start Russell Wilson instead. Maybe I would play Anthony Richardson, but man, oh man, his first ever NFL game, there's a lot of risks in that. There is a whole lot of risks in that. Again, and I love Anthony Richardson this season. I think Anthony Richardson is a stone cold smash for fantasy football. But the first couple of weeks, I would be a lot more cautious when it comes to drafting it. Alrighty. What's up, Michael? What's up, man? How you doing? What's up, Nick? Thoughts on my team? Herbert, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Tay Adams, Ridley, Darren Waller, Aaron Jones, Christian Watson. Holy shit, that team's amazing. That is a great team. Kirk versus the Bucks is my other option. Oh, I'm definitely starting Kirk versus the Bucks over Anthony Richardson. Again, even as a acclaimed Anthony Richardson super fan, week 1 of his rookie year. Again, and this is a guy that I think he's going to flash week 1. Like, you're going to see some plays where you're like, ooh, that's why I drafted Anthony Richardson. But you're not going to be like, oh, I'm glad I started him. Right? You're going to be like, that was good that I drafted him, right? You see the runs, you see the crazy throws. They might not be super accurate, but you see it all. That's good to see. But for me, I'm not drafting Anthony Richardson, or I'm not drafting him assuming I have to play him in week 1. Mark Andrews in the 3rd round, this deep into the 3rd round, that is amazing. Some of them don't even know what they're doing. They just watch football. Okay, that makes sense. Because that team start is crazy. We're going to be switching to the draft board view as well on here. So you guys are going to get multiple different views of the draft. Lamar still available. We're up in 2 picks. We got 9-inch Nicholas Chubb and A.J. Brown. Again, I was really hoping, praying to the football gods above, that we're going to be able to get Jalen Hurts but obviously that didn't end up working out. If any of you guys are in this draft, let me know in the chat, or don't let me know. It is what it is. Update on the Bears running backs via The Athletic. This report just came in. Roschon Johnson is a no-brainer pick over Donta Foreman. Bigger question. Okay, so it really seems like Donta Foreman might end up getting cut by the Bears from what I have seen. So that definitely gives a lot more value to Roschon Johnson. So we're up on the clock here. 9-inch Nicholas Chubb, A.J. Brown on the squad. Oh, man, do we want to go Lamar? I love Lamar this season, but we're going to go with DJ Moore here. Now, normally I would go instead of DJ Moore with Ramondre Stevenson here, but I want to go for the stack of Justin Fields and DJ Moore here. Again, I tell you guys in redraft, don't reach for it, but in best ball, I really want pieces of this Fields DJ Moore stack. I've been a DJ Moore guy all offseason long, been big onto Justin Fields. I think both of these guys are going to have humongous seasons, and I want all of the Justin Fields I can get right now before the NFL season starts. Now, I don't know what my schedule is going to be like in terms of streams for week 1. I know we're doing Thursday. I know we're doing Sunday. I don't know. Maybe we'll do Monday. There's a chance we could do Saturday, but my boy Sean Strickland is fighting Israel Adesanya that night. So if I do stream, it will be before that, because I am all in on hopefully my boy Sean knocks out Izzy. I do not like Izzy. I don't know how many of you guys watch the UFC, but I'm not a big fan of him. I'm a bit nervous about Jonathan Taylor. I agree with you on that. I'm nervous about JT. I'm not worried about Aaron Jones or Waller, though. Is it just me, or do you love Waller? I have my draft this weekend, 10-team. Yes, I love Darren Waller. I would take him in the 5th round. 100%. I love Darren Waller this season. Donta Foreskin. What a nickname that is, Spock. Love that. Mims. Hill or Eckler? I have the 4th pick. I would go Hill, 100%. Love to see that. Ray, did you ask a question, or did you just say Mims? All right, so our team right now, we got 9-inch Nicholas Chubb, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, and Justin Fields. Again, I am all in on Justin Fields this year. I fully recognize that Justin Fields might end up just not being as good as I think, right? But I really think he's a better passer than I thought he was last season. I think that he's going to run the ball a ton. I think DJ Moore is going to help him a ton. And I have Waller as my tight end in the 10-man Superflex. I love that. What do you think of this lineup? Send it to me, Logan. Again, anyone who wasn't here, I did put my rankings out on Patreon. It's $7.50. They're PPR rankings. I'm going to drop the half PPR rankings tomorrow. And then if you are Patreon, it's a guarantee I answer your question if you leave a comment there or DM me. And I'm going to post my weekly rankings during the season on there. So like even before you see the rankings video on my channel, it'll be on there. Asked a question. Well, I said I dropped Roschon Johnson for Marvin Mims yesterday. Oh, that's not that crazy. I still think I'd rather have Mims. How about Eckler or Bijan? I would go with Bijan. I moved Bijan ahead of Eckler. I don't know if people think that's crazy, but that's how I got it. BVB swinging his cock around like fucking Indiana Jones here, dropping Pat Mahomes and Joe Shiesty on the same team. Opinions on this team, boys. I've got Rodgers, Pollard, Akers, A.J. Brown, Cooper, McLaurin, Waller, Pickens, Swift, OBJ, Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Moore, Mostert, and Hyatt. 12-team PPR, by the way. I am worried about Rodgers. I'm going to be honest. But besides that, I like the team. In a 10-team PPR, should I go with an early quarterback like Lamar in the 4th or wait until like the 6th round? I would, again, in 10-team drafts, I'm more likely to take a quarterback earlier. Darren Waller in the 4th here. Very interesting. My Superflex 12-team draft is Sunday. I picked 10. Assuming the top 8 will be gone. Jeez. Those are my targets. That makes sense. I try to always get a quarterback, though, in the 1st or 2nd round of those drafts because I do not want to get buried at quarterback. Like, I don't want big cock Brock Purdy and Russ to be my starting 2 quarterbacks, right? That's just not ideal. All right, Lockett off the board, as well as Aaron Jones. I wonder if Darren Waller's ADP is really going to skyrocket up to the 4th round, right? Because I was talking him up when he was going in like the 8th round. Now he's going in like the 5th round. In Yahoo, he still goes in the 7th round, though, because Yahoo's ADP is just terrible. Like, those videos I made the last 2 days on ESPN and Yahoo, the must-draft players on there, it is just hilarious. Like, if you do a lot of mock drafts on, like, Sleeper, or you're doing a lot of underdog drafts, it, to me, is just hilarious, like, how bad the fucking ADPs are on those websites. NFL fantasy is even worse. Not a lot of people play on NFL fantasy, so I don't think I'm even going to make a video about that. But that ADP is basically like, it's just terrible. Like, it's hilarious. I said Adesanya was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world long before he came to the UFC. He was 33-0 in amateur, but he's had a lot of fights and is aging. Your guy's a good pick. See, I think Adesanya is a great fighter, Spock. I just don't like how he fights. A lot of the time, it's that tactical stand back there. He's got long arms, right? So keep you at range, kick you a little bit. And to me, it makes for some boring fights. Now, again, does that mean he's a shitty fighter? No, it doesn't. It's just not the guy that I personally root for. But I do think he is a really good fighter. And I recognize why people are fans of him, because when his fights are interesting, they're very good. So we're up on the clock here, and then we can talk some more UFC, NFL, everything. Back up on the clock here. Fields, Chubb, AJ Brown, and Wiki DJ Moore. Could get Hawkinson at a discount here. I think we're just going to do that. We're going to get the discount on Hawkinson. Again, you guys do know, or if you watch the channel a lot, you would know, I am basically the most anti-Hawkinson guy alive. But in the fifth round, late fifth round, basically the early sixth round, even the safety of Hawkinson, like he fell 5 picks, I'm fine taking him. Do you guys think if Jonathan Taylor gets traded, he will go off the way CMC did with the Niners? Depends what team he gets traded to. You are underrated. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Drafting at the 1 spot. What do I do with the 2nd and 3rd pick in a 12-team PPR? All right. Give me a second, then I'll answer that one. So we're up on the clock. The running backs here are kind of gross in this range. I think I'm going to go receiver. I don't have any Jerry Jeudy, really. I do have Jerry Jeudy, but he's expected to miss several weeks. I don't really want to chase injuries. I am a self-proclaimed Mike Evans guy. I really think Mike Evans is going to end up being better than people think. Now, again, he might be a big fat bust, but this is a best ball league where if he scores like 10 touchdowns, he's going to get over 1,000 yards, I think. I think he's just going to have some really big spike games. Now, his consistency level is going to be basically close to 0. I think when you draft Mike Evans, you have to fully understand that there are going to be weeks where Mike Evans is dominating, and there's going to be weeks where Mike Evans is fucking your team in the ass. But that's just, at this point, what you're going to have to accept. It's going to be like last season, hopefully better than last season, though. Drafting at the 1 spot, who would you look in the 2nd or 3rd round? So anytime any of those solid running backs like Jacobs fall to you, I would take him. I'm looking for Calvin Ridley, Devontae Smith, Chris Olave, those kind of guys in that range. I do think Adesanya is going to lose the belt to Sean after he just got it. I sure do hope Sean wins, though. He's a comedian. Yeah, Sean's funny as fuck on Twitter. That guy's hilarious. Week 1, start Mike Williams or Tyler Lockett. I would start Tyler Lockett. Now, I am someone, in the last couple UFC events, I have been on fire. Now, hopefully I didn't jinx it. I've gotten the last 3 main events that I've bet correct and a bunch of parlays and shit, so I've been smacking on the UFC. If I didn't talk about fantasy football, I think I would be a full-on UFC analyst, because that is my second favorite sport besides football. Go Pickens. He is a very smart fighter. I agree. TJ Hakalugi. Godwin looks like Baker's guy. Evans also dealing with a groin injury. Yeah, I saw that Evans was dealing with a groin injury. I'm not as worried about that as Jeudy, because they've already said Judy's out multiple games, right? There's a chance that we could see Evans play week 1, right? I think he's going to end up playing. And Baker actually looked pretty good in preseason. Now, is Baker going to look good the whole season? Probably not, right? But there's a chance. So I'm fine with the team we got so far. He really is Araco. I've been coming to his streams when fantasy season started around 2-3 years ago. That's awesome. Is Taylor getting traded? I think so. I think basically everything that has came out is pointing 100% towards he's getting traded. If he doesn't get traded, I would be shocked at this point. Who do you think? What do you think about Miles Sanders as your RB2? I think he's a fine RB2 to have. He's not a guy that I'm targeting. I don't think that he's going to get as many receptions as people think. And I worry about how bad this Panthers offense is going to be. But I won't deny that he's a good player. I just don't have him ranked as high as most people do. But at the same time, if he's your RB2 and you have an RB3 that's decent that you can rotate in and out with him, it's not a bad pick. Again, Sanders, when he goes in the 7th round on Underdog, yeah, that's basically a no-brainer pick. But when you see him going the 4th or the 5th round of redraft leagues, it does feel a little questionable. Thoughts on Hawkinson versus Waller? I would prefer, I think I have Waller ranked ahead of him. It's basically a coin flip for me. I have the number 1 pick and Pollard is my keeper. Do I go double hero running back or play it safe? I would play it safe with JJ. 10-team half PPR 4th pick, Eckler, Hill, Cup, or Bijan. I'm going Hill. Being a Cowboys fan, I hope he doesn't go to the Eagles. I don't think he's going to the Eagles. Hawkinson, safer floor, Waller, higher ceiling. Exactly. Hawkinson's way safer. I mean, knock on wood. Has Hawkinson even been hurt in the NFL? And now he's going to fucking like end up getting into like a car accident or something tonight, right? But I like Waller definitely has some big risk. I just chase the upside of a guy like Waller. Like there's something about Waller where he feels like he could be the tight end 1. When the season ends, Hawkinson's probably going to be the tight end 3 at best or 2, right? I don't think we're going to finish the season and Hawkinson's the tight end 1. Whereas I think there is a scenario that plays out where Waller's the tight end 1. That's just kind of how I think about things. Again, make sure you guys hit the like on the stream. I'm not checking how many likes the stream has, but please make sure you guys do like. And anyone watching right now afterwards, there's a lot of people that just watch the stream later. Comment, I don't even know. Comment Alvin Kamara in the chat. Excited to see what Waller is going to do. Daniel Jones loves his tight ends. I hope so. Who do you prefer from Gibbs, Stevenson, or ETN? I prefer Stevenson slightly. I like Gibbs and Stevenson a decent amount. I definitely prefer both of them to ETN, though. Someone brought up a really good point on Twitter today. I think it was bdge. They tweeted it. It was so funny. And it had me thinking, like, am I just dumb? Like, Ramondre Stevenson last year finished so highly. He scored 5 touchdowns. So why are we so nervous about Zeke when Ramondre only scored 5 touchdowns? Like, Zeke is going to come in vulture the touchdowns, but I don't think he's going to take away a crazy amount of carries or anything like that. So maybe I kind of, after reading that, flipped my thought process on it. I just auto-drafted David Montgomery because I wasn't paying attention, but I'm actually glad I got David Montgomery because I like David Montgomery, and he probably would have been my pick anyways, considering we only have 1 running back. So good thing that I wasn't paying attention. Got to pay attention, though. Kamara. Big dogs got to eat. Kamara as well. What an asshole this guy is, right? On stream, auto drafts, but it's fine. We're all Gucci. We do need some more Chicago players, and then we are going to need Bears, and then we are going to need a Falcons player, but now is not the time for that. We're going to go best receiver available. We are going to go, actually, let's just go Khalil Herbert here, right? Get our 3 running backs, and then we can just go to hammer time with the wide receiver position. I feel pretty confident Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, and Khalil Herbert as some upper echelon running backs, and then we can just hammer receiver. We got our quarterback. We got our tight end. So it's actually a solid way things fell. Obviously, you don't want to be fucking auto-drafting. I don't know what I was doing. I was having a nice conversation with you guys, and my brain turned off for half of a second. Yeah, make sure you guys smash that like button. I have a strange feeling it will be Andrews, Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson. That's not that crazy. Trade CMC / Waddle for Chase and Jacobs. I would do that. That is a good prediction, David. Could very well be. I agree. Kamara, do you think Javonte Williams will have a bounce back season? I do believe that, yes. Wash hands emoji. Hi, Nick. Hope the stream's going well. Hey, what's up, Emily? How you doing? How are you doing? I like Herbie. I like Herbert as well. Hope you're doing well, Emily. Superflex, Dak or Russ as my quarterback too. Definitely Dak. Kamara. 10 teams, my team. I look like, you know what bothers me about the fact that my fucking lights broke is that I literally look like I'm in like a crypt or something, like in the basement, like locked away. Now I am not in the basement. The basement's right next to me, but I'm not Ron Stewart. 10 teams. My team is Jefferson, Hurts, Andrews, Higgins, Taylor, Khalil Herbert, Christian Watson, Tucker, and the Green Bay Packers. Thoughts, brother? Oof, I like that team a decent amount. I like that team a lot, actually. So yeah, that's a really good team. Super underrated, Nick. My go-to in a year out. Thank you, man. Thank you. We're going to have a good year this year. Everyone's going to win their fantasy championship, hopefully. Last year I only won one of my leagues. What's funny is this one league me and my dad are in, we have won 6 out of the last 7 years. One of us have won. So we have 2 different teams, obviously. My dad drafts a team. I draft a team. And yeah, it's a 10 or 12 team league every year. We've won 6 out of 7 times. Basement with your VPN. Drafting is good. Don't want them to track you. Exactly. All right. So our team is looking pretty solid right now. I actually like this team a lot. This team is way better than the team we drafted yesterday. I don't know who was here yesterday, But I drafted Waddle and Tyreek. I was ecstatic to get Waddle and Tyreek. And then I'm waiting backwards or not waiting backwards. I'm waiting deep into the draft. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get Tua. And then Tua gets taken. And it like pissed me off. He got taken one pick before me. If anyone wants to go back and watch the stream after this, make sure you do. It was so funny. I almost like broke my monitor in half after that one. That one really pissed me off. That always gets me though. Like in best ball, when you spend the time setting up the stack, you're building your team solid, and then you just get bent over a table by someone who takes, for some reason, Tua unstacked with anyone. Right now it's going to happen, but it did frustrate me a little bit. Got Bijan in another league. I traded him for Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, and DK. What the hell? You traded him for 3 players? That's impressive. 3 years strong. FYI, you need those. I need those rankings soon, please. Yeah, my rankings are out on Patreon. It's $7.50 if you want to buy them. They're PPR. The half PPR rankings will be out tomorrow or tonight, probably tomorrow. And then I'm going to drop my top 150 for each of them, which will be a different sheet. I don't like the way they spit out the top 150 when I throw my rankings in is just so incorrect. So I have to go sit in there and actually adjust it. One thing that's guaranteed to happen, though, if once Jonathan Taylor gets traded, I'm going to have to go in there and adjust it all again tomorrow. 100%. Hopefully he gets traded. I know you like to go for Kelsey in the 10-man spot, but would you prefer him from that besides the plan? Oh, yeah. What spot would you prefer to pick him from besides that plan? Yeah, so if I'm in like the top 6 picks, I'm taking Kelsey. If I can't get Kelsey, then just draft normally, right? You don't have to panic because you didn't get Kelsey. Just draft the running back, the receiver, best available player, and then try to come back in the 3rd round, maybe and get Andrews. Is Rashee Rice even worth keeping on the bench? I think so. I think Rashee Rice could have a good year. All right, we definitely need some Falcons guys. The Falcons don't have a lot of guys, so we're probably going to have to just take Algier late for that run back. Maybe Algier has a good game, week 17. And then hopefully we can get Darnell. Here comes the Mooney. So we do have an out on drafting Baker later. But I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to probably just get a better receiver here. Oh, fuck, dude. It's a reach to take Nico Collins. We're taking him here at the 107. I'm getting my guy, Nico Collins. I draft Nico Collins like every single draft. He is a guy where if Nico Collins was to get hurt, he would absolutely hit all of my teams with the RKO from out of nowhere like Randy Orton. But I think he is going to actually be pretty solid this year. Knock on wood. We don't root for injuries. Alrighty, and then we're about to pick again, and then we're going to be going for some more questions here. Answering more questions. Make sure you guys smash the like button like it owes you some fucking money. I like Charbonnet a lot, but we're not going to go him here. And we already have Hawkinson, so we don't really need a tight end. There's no need. But it is nice. Like, you go Hawkinson and Freiermuth. That'd be pretty sweet. But I don't love our receiver room to the point where I feel like I have to take a receiver here. We're going to go for Zay Jones. I'm going to continue to load up on Zay Jones here before his ADP moves even further. So much of this preseason stuff is pointing towards Zay Jones being in there as the number 2 guy right next to Calvin Ridley when they're in 2 wide receiver sets. When they go to 3 receivers, Christian Kirk will be in there. I'm starting to think Zay Jones is a steal. He goes in like the 16th rounds of drafts. His ADP has moved up heavily. I think that it is going to continue to move. What do we think about Jahan Dotson week 1? Love it. I love it. Let me pull up the draft board some more, but our team is looking real good. Throw the draft board up here so you guys can see that. How do you feel about Kupp with Stafford not connecting with the team? I don't worry about that. Like, if Stafford isn't connecting with the team, we already know he has a 5G LTE connection with Cooper Kupp. Is it worth giving Kupp to get Stephon for the Diggs Allen stack? No, I'd rather have Kupp. Quarterback Fields, ETN, Jones, Hill, Wilson, London, Laporta, Javonte. Oh, man, this team's really good. I like your team a lot. That is a really good team. And again, I'm not going to read your whole team out loud. I just read it in my head. Early 3rd round, would you take Ridley or Mark Andrews? In a 10-team league, I am taking Andrews. In a 12-team league, I'm taking Ridley. Hunt going to the Colts. I think Hunt or Lenny will end up going to the Colts if Jonathan Taylor gets traded. And I think, though, there is a chance that if Jonathan Taylor gets traded to the Dolphins send over either Mostert or Jeff Wilson. How's the squad going? I like our team a lot. We went Chubb, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Justin Fields, Hawkinson, Evans, David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Nico Collins, and Zay Jones. Thoughts on Zach Charbonnet? I really like Zach Charbonnet. Just finished my draft. What's your opinion on my starting lineup? Justin Fields, Ridley, Watson, Bijan, Robinson, Pollard, Andrew Swift. That is a wet dream, but I do not want to be starting Swift week 1. Quarterback Geno, Chase, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris, Breece Hall, Dulcich, DJ Moore, Dotson, Akers, Elijah Moore, Jeff Wilson, Ferguson, Renfro, Kareem Hunt, Koo. That's a 14-team league. I would try to see if you can get someone better on your bench than Renfro, but besides that, that's a pretty solid team. I'm in a relatively sharp league. What round do you like Nick Collins in? The 10th round would be the earliest I would take him. That's a lie. The 9th round's the earliest I would take him, but like close to the 9-10 turn. I think I'm one of the few people fading TJ Hawkinson. One big week. No, I actually would say, Paulie, I am pretty close to being negative on Hawkinson. The thing, though, is Hawkinson fell here to the 5th round. Like, at some point, even if I despise a player, this is basically the 6th round. Pick 59 is close to the 6th round. In the 5th round, I'm just going to take him there. Even if I don't love Hawkinson this year, even though he's just kind of like one of those safe draft picks, right? Wrapping the condom around your team. Probably not going to have those huge spike games where he drops his nuts on the defense, but he's also probably not going to have a bad game most games. So Hawkinson in the 5th, the 6th, sign me up. In the 4th, not so much. I'm thinking about going 1 receiver and 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds to avoid the running back drought in rounds 4. That's fine. But understand that it's really just how your draft goes, right? So you don't want to go in there thinking, I need 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds, because what happens if you're up and you love a receiver, right? Then you're going to galaxy brain yourself into taking a worse running back. So that's just kind of my tip on things. Appreciate it, brother. No problem. Yo, Spock, how we doing? How we doing? Yo, Paulie, I've been watching back The Sopranos. First time I watched it, I was like 13 or 14. This is the second time watching it. I'm like episode 6. And I forgot just how funny that show is. And I also forgot how deep it is. Like, I don't think when I was watching it when I was younger, I really understood like the deep intricacies of what's going on. I love that show, though. Burrow, Lawrence, or Jackson? I would go with Jackson. Thoughts on Dotson week 1? I love Dotson week 1. Is Justin Fields a reach in the late 3rd round? Yes, he is. I'd take a quarterback before Hawk. Normally, I do as well. Dulcich is going to have a good season with Peyton. I think Dulcich is going to have a decent season. Dulcich is a guy where people have been kind of negative on Dulcich and his usage. He's a guy where if I draft him, though, I need a second tight end, right? Most of these drafts, if you guys notice, like in the mock drafts, I'm drafting just 1 tight end. If I fall into the range where I have a guy like Dulcich, I'm probably going to end up drafting 2 tight ends in that kind of scenario. So we're up on the clock here. Definitely going to go Darnell Mooney here. Again, get that stack of Chicago. I don't think Chase Claypool is being like underrated by any means, right? He goes super late, but when push comes to shove, I think I'd rather just pay the 11th round price for Mooney, who I think is just a wildly better player than Chase Claypool. So later we can go with a Houston guy. There's still a lot of options for our receiver stacks here. Could go running back. I don't think Algier is going to fall back to us. So we might just go Algier here to get the run back. And he's a pretty decent handcuff, right? Like if something was to happen to Bijan, Algier would be like a fantastic pick. And A-Chain, like I already have so much A-Chain on Underdog. Like if Jonathan Taylor's to get traded here, like those picks were just bad, right? Like him, Mostert, all those guys are like some of my highest on running back. So we're going to go with Tyler Algier here. More of like a handcuff type of a pick. But I like him a decent amount. Like I just think the Atlanta Falcons are going to run the ball so much that you're going to be getting value with Algier. There's going to be certain games where Algier plays pretty good. Thank you, Kanak, for purchasing the Patreon. I appreciate that. Make sure if anyone wants to join the Patreon, my PPR rankings are up there. Again, the top 150 rankings for PPR and half PPR are going to go up tomorrow. Same with the half PPR rankings. If you are in a standard league, I could make standard rankings, but someone would have to request that for me to sit there and do that. First question here was, I haven't drafted UD this week, really. Is Waller going ahead of Hawk now or no? No, still not. Most drafts, Hawkinson goes ahead of Waller, I would say. Hey, Nick, thoughts on Christian Watson? I love Christian Watson. 10-man PPR Superflex. I have T-Law, Carr, Howell, running backs are Gibbs, Walker, Cooks, Sanders, Charbonnet was getting you. Oh, wow. That team is amazing. I really like your team. Izzy and Sean fight is in the daytime. It's in Australia. Oh, it's in the daytime. I thought when they fought in Australia, it was at night. Who did I watch fight in Australia? Didn't Volk fight Makachev? in at night in Australia? Damn. Am I an idiot? Let's look this up. If that's during the day, then that's actually clutch, because then we can stream at night. But I hope it's not during the day, because then I'm with my fiance, and I'd rather watch at night. Oh, it's in Australia, but it's still at night. It is still at night. I was correct. Should I trade Mahomes and Kenneth Walker for Fields and ETN? No, I'd rather have Mahomes and Kenneth Walker. Should I drop Sky Moore and pick up Nico Collins? He's still available. I would rather have Nico Collins than Sky Moore, yeah. Michael Wilson, Tank Dell, or Jalen Hyatt as a replacement for Renfro. Jalen Hyatt. 10-man league, double quarterback. Josh Allen, Fields, Jamar Chase. How is that even possible? Like, how is it possible that your team is that good? No Jalen Warren. I like Jalen Warren. Hot take. Ayuk will be a top 10 receiver. I don't think that's that hot of a take. You think that's a bold take? I wouldn't say that that's that crazy of a take. Like, I think it is possible. Who'd you take it for? A 12-man, assuming JJ and CMC are gone. I would take, at the 4th pick, I'm taking Hill, and I'm just taking best available player in the 2nd. Izzy is from New Zealand. He's from China, actually. Don't you know that, Captain Spock? Number 9-inch. Yeah, I'm wearing my 9-inch Nick Foles t-shirt. Here, I'll throw it on the screen real quick. 9-inch Nicholas Foles. My boy. I could say it's a Nick Chubb shirt, but it's got the Chicago Bears colors. My league drafted really early, so Olave fell. That makes sense. Top 10, that's bold, bro. You think that's bold? I don't know, man. I'm just not a Debo guy. Like, I think Debo is like a fucking running merchant, and he's not getting as many carries. Now, I don't have Ayuk ranked that high. I could see it happening, though, right? The Niners offense go firing at all cylinders. And Nick Wright on TV, I don't know what channel Nick Wright talks on, but he said something that was like the most true thing ever about how, like, the 49ers have set up the perfect team every single year just to absolutely fail massively when push comes to shove, like at the end of the season, right? They always have this crazy team, but their quarterback is lacking, and then they end up shit in the bed. So we're going to need another quarterback as well. This might be a Sam Howell team, potentially, if Howell falls a decent amount. Go Howell and Stroud. Even though we don't have any Commanders, guys, Sam Howell has looked fucking fantastic. And, of course, Sam Howell gets picked right before us. We're not going to go Stroud just yet. We do have 2 by 13 guys, so I'm going to end up pigeonholing myself into 3 tight ends. I think we're going to go receiver here. Going to go highest upside available. Hyatt's probably the highest upside guy, but I'm going to go Rondell Moore. I don't have much of Rondell Moore. Again, I worry that the Cardinals are just going to suck absolute donkey cock, but I also think that Rondell Moore is a really good player. And as my wide receiver 7 on a team where I like my receiver core, I think that's pretty helpful. And I went with Cole Kmet to stack him with Justin Fields. Otherwise, I probably would have went with Chig because Chig, to me, has a little more upside in best ball. Now, in redraft, you're never going to really know when to start him, but in best ball, when he just gets thrown into your lineup, would you take Ridley or Ramondre at the end of the 3rd? I would rather have Ridley. Higher upside, Montgomery or Sanders? Higher upside is Sanders. 12-team PPR league, I have Justin Herbert, Rashad White getting offered, Joe Burrow and DeAndre Swift. I would rather have Joe Burrow and Swift than Justin Herbert and Rashad White. I would take that. Glad I drafted Jacobs. He got the deal done. Yeah, Jacobs was a guy that a lot of people were really scared to draft, and then I was never really scared. He's from Nigeria, moved to New Zealand. Yeah, I know. The joke, Captain Spock, is that when he used to fight in China back in the day, he said he was Chinese, and that's like the joke Sean Strickland always goes with, right? That Izzy's a Chinese man, which he obviously isn't. Brian Robinson or Antonio Gibson? I would rather have Antonio Gibson, but it's basically like flipping a coin. It's 100% a coin flip. In half PPR, I would rather have Robinson. If you can find the clip, Spock, it's so fucking funny. He's like, I am a Chinese man or something like that. Hello, what's going on? What's going on, sir? How you doing? I agree Debo is overrated, but he got the most targets from Purdy when everyone was healthy on the field together. Debo was like 25%. Yeah. I think Debo is a good player. He's just like, where he's going in drafts a lot of the time. Where'd he go here? Debo Samuel. Like in the 3rd round, like I'm just going to be honest, I'd rather have Keenan Allen. Like it just feels so gross to take him. Like he really feels like a guy that is going to be so hit or miss. And like the fact that they have McCaffrey there and Debo was doing so good 2 years ago because he was getting all these rushes. Like, do we think those rushes are going to come back? No. Maybe if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, knock on wood, that would be possible. But I don't think that's what's going to end up happening. So Kareem Hunt going in the 15th. His ADP is moving. Fields rush for 1,200 yards, 3,600 passing yards. I don't know about all that, but I think he might end up with like 12 rushing touchdowns. Same people taking some people taking San Francisco D in the 9th or 10th round. I get why people do it because, oh my God, the Niners are the best defense in the NFL. But again, when you're drafting defenses, you just want to be streaming them. Debo over Keenan is kind of wild. I agree. Spock has the stat about Keenan Allen where he just loves Keenan Allen, and I agree with him. Keenan Allen, like everyone says, oh my God, he's injury prone. Well, if you look at his career over the last like 6 years, he barely has gotten hurt aside from last year. It was just early on in his career, right? He missed like a serious amount of time, I think, for 2 years early on in his career. But after that, it's been pretty healthy. I've seen that several times. They're idiots. Yeah, drafting a defense early is like one of the dumbest things you can do in fantasy football. In my opinion, I think you're really hurting your team doing so. Drafting a defense super early like that. Alrighty. We're about to be back. We're going to go with like the last tight end possible, right? Because I don't want to just have a 0 week 13. I think that really hurts our team. Some people will argue against that, but I don't want to have a 0 at tight end. So I'm probably going to end up going with tight end in the last round. Like just hope he hops in the lineup in week 13. We need a quarterback. Kyler still available. Kyler typically free falls. Are any of the Panthers receivers still available? So we could go with a Panthers guy here. Panthers. I guess we could go Hayden Hurst super late. We're around 15, 16, 17, 18. So we got 4 picks left. Shit. I'm just going to go Hodgins. He's the best player available. I'm not going to overthink things here. I'm going to go Hodgins. We only need 5 running backs on this team. But the thing is, we might need 2 quarterbacks, which might screw us out here. Let's just go ahead and get Stroud because I don't want to get sniped on Stroud. I don't think he's really a reach here in this round because the running backs in this range are all kind of just eh. And I want to make sure I get the Stroud stack with Mr. Nico Collins. And also, one thing about these kind of drafts, right? While you typically want to get 3 quarterbacks, our bet is that Justin Fields just certifiably smashes, right? We drafted Justin Fields with all of these Chicago guys, assuming he's going to smash. Now, if he doesn't smash, our team's just fucked anyway. So I don't think of it as a negative here. Alrighty. I've seen that several times. Would you rather draft David Montgomery or Jahan Dotson for the flex? Jahan Dotson. He was the wide receiver 4. That's the stat I was looking for. I know, right? Also, I've seen Justin Tucker. Yeah, people take Tucker. What's up, Chuckleberry? Thank you for purchasing the Patreon. I appreciate it. What's the best running back I could trade Keenan for in a vacuum? Right now, you could maybe try to talk to the Jonathan Taylor guy who might be shitting himself. Probably like Stevenson or Mixon would probably be the best you can get for Keenan because a lot of the opinion on Keenan is not high. Most people think Keenan Allen sucks. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think a majority of people think Keenan Allen is just absolute garbage. That's a wrong take, but I think a lot of people think that. What's up, Nesman? How are you doing? How high are you on Calvin Ridley? I'm as high as fucking Snoop Dogg on a typical Tuesday night on Calvin Ridley. I'm as high on Calvin Ridley as it gets. Like, I really think Calvin Ridley could be the number 1 receiver. Maybe I am just so galaxy brained into this take, but I've been drafting Calvin Ridley since he was like the wide receiver 15, 16, 17, 18 off the board. He just seems like he is in the perfect situation. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones can't hold the guy's jockstrap. I mean, he is really good. I think if Calvin Ridley didn't get suspended for that whole season in 2021 or 2022, people would be having a way different tone on Calvin Ridley. And a lot of people also don't watch preseason. I watched, as a Dolphins fan, this guy rip us apart. Like, Calvin Ridley bent us over, and it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. Mahomes, Pacheco, JT, Tyreek, Higgins, Everett, D-Hop, Lockett in a 12-man full PPR guillotine league. First year. I like that. Pretty safe team, aside from the running backs. A little risky, but that team's pretty decent. I like your receiver core a lot. I like Tyreek, Higgins, D-Hop, and Lockett a ton. Plus, you got Mahomes. Dab time, baby. And you're not talking about the dab like Cam Newton. You're talking about a different dab. Alrighty. So we need another running back. Fuck, dude. I don't know if we'll even go with a tight end. I think we're just going to end up eating week 13 as a big fat zero at tight end. I think we're going to go Baker. Baker, touchdown, Baker. It would be so funny if Baker's like really good. If you guys have been watching for a while, you know I'm a big Baker guy. Now, I've never really been ranking Baker high in fantasy, but I have been a Baker stan for fucking years. I think we're going to wait on Baker. Get Baker late. Got to go running back here. Got to go running back. What a snag Uncle Lenny again. Again, I really think Uncle Lenny's going to get picked up by some team like in the middle of the season, and Leonard Fournette's going to go crazy. Now, he's going to have like zero usage early on in the season, but I think later on, he's going to go crazy. Definitely not a guy I draft and redraft, though. Much more of a best ball pick. And then we're going to go Baker here to close things out and then not go with the second tight end. Week 13, we'll eat the zero, and then we'll hopefully eat a W the rest of the season. And then our final pick here, we got to share on the wrong tab here. We're going to go Baker. Bam. What do you think about James Conner? I worry about the Cardinals being ass, but I still like James Conner. Thought process was just to survive week 1 and buy the best running back available. That makes sense. I have the second pick. Who should you take? You should take Jamar Chase. Love Ridley as well. Been drafting him since he was the wide receiver 2 behind Julio Jones. I love Calvin Ridley, man. I love Calvin Ridley. Chase. 10-man Superflex League. Who are you taking at the 4th spot? The top 3 quarterbacks are taken already. I'm probably taking Lamar, an expert. Yeah, you know, you got to title things this way. A expert fantasy football draft and expert. I don't care. I would even consider myself to be like a quote unquote fantasy expert. I'm just like someone who talks about fantasy, that knows a decent amount about fantasy, but I want to consider myself to be an expert. I also think you just sound like a douchebag if you call yourself a fantasy football expert. But then again, I did title the stream that way, and the stream held over 100 views for a majority of the time. So should we rip a second draft here? The thing is, if we do a second draft, I don't know if I want to do one tomorrow because these are $25 a pop. We did advance. I'm going to go back to our team in a second into the semifinals of our baseball league that we're in here. So anyone knows baseball, we're in 9th place right now. Our team is pretty good, but we're going to go back and recap our team here. So our team that we just drafted was Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Baker at quarterback. So the quarterbacks outside of Justin Fields, pretty suspect. But again, in this kind of a league, a best ball draft like this, where you're hunting for $3 million up front, right? If Justin Fields sucks, right, it's already over. We're not winning $3 million. We're not somehow becoming the top of a 677,000 tournament if Justin Fields sucks. So that's fine, right? Then we got Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Tyler Algier, Leonard Fournette. So the big 3 guys there, we need them to pay off. And then Algier, Fournette mixing a little bit. Our receivers, though, this is what we like here. We got A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Nico Collins, Zay Jones, Darnell Mooney, Rondell Moore, Hodgins, and then our tight ends are TJ Hawkinson and Cole Kmet. So I think our team is pretty good. I think the fact that we got Hawkinson helps us out a ton. You're going to win the $3 million. That's impossible because I am winning the $3 million. I hope that one of these drafts I've done stream, like I did a stream with Nez when we were doing the Sunday stream last week or 2 weeks ago. I hope one of these teams that I've drafted on stream is the one that wins. Now I have drafted not on stream a bunch of drafts. If that one wins, they'll still be happy, right? Because it's $3 million. But the hope would be one of these ones I draft on stream somehow is the nuts. I was able to get CMC with the 6th pick. Everyone took the big receivers. That makes sense though. But I would be happy with CMC at pick 6. Thank you. I was stressed about who to take in the 4th spot, leaning towards Lamar as well. Thug Life Fantasy style. How are you going to remember which stream you drafted the winning team on. How am I going to remember? Because what I do is I name the teams the date. Now, all of these ones were drafted on that one big stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Best Ball Mania teams. The other ones, these are Underdog Cardio Club drafts. The other ones are all titles with the date. So yesterday, 827 was our team that, again, was kind of a disaster. We are going to title this one. Today's date is 8/28. I ate and I ate till I fell on the floor. 8 times 8 equals 64. And then we give it the structure, and we hit the team. Chicago, Houston, Tampa Bay. Did I not fucking save that? I'm a fucking half a dumbass. 2, 8. I hate typing. There's like so many water bottles in front of me. Because I drink a lot of water. I stay hydrated out here. 3, 5, 8, 2. Chicago, Houston, Tampa Bay. Bam. Shiakazing. You're both wrong. I'm winning. Yeah, that's just not true. And how confident are you that I should be feeling about Justin Fields this season? I am as close to 100% confident on Justin Fields, if I'm being honest with you. Would you start Dotson or Gibson on the flex? I would start Dotson week 1 on the flex. I think Dotson is going to go absolutely nuclear in week number 1 without Terry McLaurin. I would be shocked if he didn't play well. All right. Should we do one more? What time is it? It is 10 o'clock. It's Russell Wilson's year. It's never Russell Wilson's year, let's be honest. We'll do one more. How many likes does the stream have? Let's actually check that. I'm going to hold you guys hostage for likes. Wow, we have 61 likes. If we can get to 80 likes in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to do another draft. If not, I'll just keep answering questions. Then we'll probably get out of here. Probably skedaddle our way out of here because I do have to record another video after this. I hope I wake up to the news that Jonathan Taylor is a Miami Dolphin. I will probably post a YouTube short about that. Like if that happens, like of me like screaming probably. The Tyreek video that I posted on Twitter when the Dolphins signed Tyreek Hill is my favorite video ever. And that's the one that's going to get retweeted when the Dolphins hoist the Lombardi trophy. Is that a peace out, Brian? You dipping? I'll see you later, man. Like the stream, guys. Yeah, make sure you guys like the stream. Smash that like button like it owes you money. We have 69 likes right now. Very nice. So make sure you guys hit the like button again. If you have any questions, let me know. Later, everyone. See you, Brian. Peace out, man. We'll do one more. I don't know if we're going to be live tomorrow. I mean, I just feel like we should just go live every night, at least until, I don't know about Friday night or Saturday, but probably going to go live Sunday night. Well, next week is the first week of football. Going to be fire. We're going to be dropping content every single day about week 1. I'm so excited because while I love the fantasy offseason, there's just something so beautiful about the football actually being on TV. Like you're right there. We're knocking on the door. And then it's like I'm in more structured content mode. Right now, I'm just basically doing whatever I want. But during the season, there's a schedule. Like Monday, waivers, and defenses, right? Very, very basic. Will Underdog have another tournament available soon? I would think they are going to drop one more. I would think they're going to probably do like a $3 or $5 or $7 contest. Now, maybe they won't because I don't know if Weekly Winners is going to fill because it's only at 70%. BBM probably going to fill at 83.8%. So I would have to say they probably drop one more contest. We're at 73 likes. Let's get to 80 and I'll do one more draft. But yeah, I think they'll do one more potentially. I do like though during the season, they don't have them out yet. The NFL, like the weekly contest where it's like you versus 4 other people. I didn't win a lot on that last season, but it was fun. It was very fun. I've done one weekly winners draft. I actually think the weekly winners is the most fun draft to do right now. But in terms of you guys actually understanding what's happening, like for the stream, I don't think it's as good of like a streaming contest, but it's something I like drafting. Thinking about trading Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and DK for Bijan. I would not do that. I wouldn't do that. I have Pacheco as a keeper, and it's costing me my last pick. Do you think I need to target 2 running backs early? Probably not. I'd go 1 running back, 1 receiver. What do you think about my team? Herbert, Olave, London, CMC, Mixon, Laporta, Dotson, Gano. I'd rather have a better tight end than that, but Steam's still pretty solid. Like the stream, guys. Thank you. I'm not that big on Aaron Jones. He's a hit or miss every week. That's true, but I still think he's going to be fine. I'm going to do the draft anyways, just so you guys know. I was just farming likes. We're going to do the draft anyways. So we're going to get in this draft in like probably 2 minutes. I'm going to just do a quick ad read here. If you guys want to join Underdog Fantasy, promo code Notorious, or click on the link in the video description or the pinned comment. They have the biggest fantasy football contest ever. That's what we're drafting right now. Best ball, $25 to enter, 150 max entries, $15 million in total prizes, $3 million to first place. If you guys want to draft with me, make sure you sign up there. And if you want to help me out, you sign up there, right? Liking the stream helps me a ton. Going on Underdog helps me out a ton if you're new. And then buying the Patreon also helps me out a ton. I think I'm going to release channel memberships very soon as well. Again, if you guys join that, it's not going to be expensive. It's just so you can get like badges in the chat. And then it just helps me out. It's a couple dollars. So we're going to join the draft here in about 2 seconds. I'm going to just answer these questions real quick and then join the draft. At the 6th pick in a 12-team PPR league, do you like Cup, Kelsey, Bijan, and why? In full PPR, I would rather go Cup, but I get why you would rather go with Bijan. So go with your heart, man. Go Bijan. Choose one flex week 1. Dotson, Lockett, James Conner. I'm going Dotson. Laporta. Let's go. How are we feeling about Dallas Goedert? Dallas Goedert is like one of the most mid tight ends for fantasy football. Every week, he's good. That's about it. He's going to be good. He's never going to fuck you over. He's never going to be great. That's how I feel about Goddard. Yo, can you rate my 14-team squad? Of course I can. Montgomery and Charbonnet, good picks? Yes. All right. You ever want to do a sleeper draft with viewers? You know what? Maybe that'll be tomorrow's stream. Maybe tomorrow's stream will be drafting with viewers, or I'll do a underdog draft, then do a draft with you guys, or vice versa. So that's actually a good idea, but we're going to do an underdog draft first. So again, we're going to be queuing in here in 10 seconds. So I'm going to count us down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'd love to draft with me. So that is maybe a good idea. Oh, shit. We're waiting for one person, so only one of you guys could have gotten in. Of course, we joined at the wrong time. If you don't want to draft with randoms, you can get out if you're trying to queue in to draft with me. Thoughts? CD. Oh, wait. Did I skip the 14-team league? I think I did. Burrow, Bijan, Javonte, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Drake London, Zay Flowers, benches B-Rob. Oh, I like that team a lot. Very good. Thoughts? Tua, CD, T. Higgins, Bijan. That team's really good, too. Goddard and Laporta. Dallas Goedert. Charbonnet, I meant. I like Charbonnet. You love Goddard this year. All right, then our opinions are a little different. I've been picking Kincaid heavily. I like Kincaid in best ball, not in redraft, though. I don't know. Like, do you really want to play Kincaid week 1? I'd love to draft with you. All right, so tomorrow if I do stream, and I'm not guaranteeing a stream, probably going to stream, though, we'll do one draft on Sleeper and then probably a best ball draft, or maybe just 2 sleeper drafts. Who knows? Draft with you guys would be fun. Now, the one thing about drafting with you guys, though, a lot of you guys think just like me. You know, we're 2 peas in a fucking pod, and then we're going to just start sniping all the players that I like, which I guess is fun for you guys to watch because maybe it'll make me angry. All right, so the draft is beginning here. Again, we are going to win the $3 million, and it's going to be on stream. Musgrave is a sneaky best ball tight end. I agree. His ADP has skyrocketed. Musgrave, what's his ADP at right now? 165, dude. He was like free. All right. Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek Hill. All right. So we have a decent amount of McCaffrey in these drafts. I'm going to just take McCaffrey here. Again, I think McCaffrey is just one of those, like, you just draft him and it is what it is, right? You could argue you could take him top 2. This is a half PPR website, so the running backs are kind of more favorable. We know how good McCaffrey is. Just a little worried about him potentially getting hurt because running backs get hurt more than receivers. Love your content, man. Been following your advice religiously for years. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like the stream. Maybe do a cheap one. Yeah, we could do a cheaper draft next time. Again, they don't have any cheap drafts out right now aside from the Eliminator, but I think the Eliminator filled. We'll go back to the draft in 1 second. Yeah, the Eliminator filled. So the cheapest draft right now on Underdog is $15. And we're doing the best ball mania. But we could do a weekly winners tomorrow. But I think the weekly winners is so different than like a regular draft. Like this, at least you can apply most of what I'm saying to your redraft league, right? But in that kind of a league, weekly winners is basically just every week your lineup is competing. So it's not about like the end of the season. Week 1, someone wins 20 racks. Week 2, someone wins 20 racks, right? Do a 12-team league. Yeah, I think we're going to do a 12-team mock draft tomorrow on Sleeper. I do want to do a league with you guys, but the problem is I don't want to commit to something like that and then not do it. Maybe tomorrow, if I'm feeling it, we'll set up a league with 12 of you, 11 of you guys, and then we'll do a draft on Thursday. But it would have to be paid, like, because I don't want people to just not give a shit, right? It like ruins the thing. But it wouldn't be like a gazillion dollars to join. Maybe like a $25, $50 league, something like that. But again, that's still up in the air. I have to see about that. But I don't like, I'm going to be honest, I don't like having my fantasy league on Sleeper. I might be the only one that doesn't like it. There's just some, I don't know. I like having my actual leagues on like NFL or Yahoo or something like that. Bills versus Jets, Vikings versus Bucks, definitely Vikings. How does weekly winners work? So weekly winners works is so in this, right, you're trying to get to the playoffs, then you're trying to advance through the playoffs, get to the championship, win the championship. In weekly winners, every single week, there is essentially a championship, right? Week 1, every single week, $20,000 is up top for you to win. So you are basically just drafting. It's a little bit different because you don't need to worry about the week 17 correlation. I don't think stacking is as important. So it's a little bit different. The quarterbacks go a lot higher in that too. Do I think Bijan is overrated? I think Bijan is actually underrated he's not underrated by fantasy analysts, but I think a lot of the fantasy football players, like the normal fans, are underrating Bijan by a lot. I think a lot of the normal fantasy football, like the people that are hopping on now to watch fantasy, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate you. But the people that haven't been following fantasy since like May, they don't like Bijan. They're scared of Bijan. They're scared of the Falcons, right? I am not scared of Bijan Robinson. Jalen Hurts goes right before us. We got McCaffrey. Could go D-Rock Henry here. Could go Mahomes. We don't really have Mahomes on any of my teams. Let's go Mahomes. I haven't taken Mahomes once. Let's get Mahomes, and let's do a Chiefs stack. Now, again, we're not going to get Kelsey, the most important part of the Chiefs stack, but we can go for Sky Moore, some of these later options. Again, I haven't drafted Mahomes once, and like, how stupid am I going to feel at the end of the season when Mahomes is like obviously the quarterback 1? He's the best quarterback in the NFL, right? Then we'll just feel real stupid if we don't have any of him. 12-team super flex, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, 2 running backs, PPR. All right, so assuming Jonathan Taylor plays, your team looks really good. I hate Sleeper. I hate Sleeper too. I'm going to be honest with you. But if they want to pay me, they can. Yahoo all the way. I like Yahoo. I love Sleeper. Yahoo and ESPN seems so ghetto now. ESPN is the one that really feels like you hopped into like an ancient time machine. ESPN is ran like they don't even have a draft board, right? Like you can't pull up the draft board when you're drafting on ESPN. I use the draft board so much that like the fact that you can't use the draft board just hurts my brain. So definitely need a draft board. Fuck, I wanted to get Mark Andrews. This is such a gross range of the draft. Do we go JT or do we go T. Higgins? Let's go T. Higgins. Let's go T. Higgins. Because JT is still a risk, right? I've drafted JT a lot in here. There's a chance that JT just holds out. What are your thoughts on Swift? I do not like Swift, but if he falls super late, I'm fine taking him. Sleeper is the one that feels ghetto, if anything. I don't think Sleeper feels that bad. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, there's just something about it. Like I've been using Sleeper for years, and I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what I dislike about it. I hate that there's always like a million notifications coming from it. This is just the absolutely wrong screen. I did not want to show the screen. I don't know. ESPN absolutely sucks ass, though. Let's be honest. I think everyone can agree with that. All right. draft board on the screen now. User-created leagues on Yahoo offer almost anything you can look for. I agree with that. 10-man PPR, Fields, Cup, Amon-Ra, Damian Pierce, Alexander Madison, Dalton Kincaid, Calvin Ridley, Rashad White. Suggestions? My suggestion would be your starting lineup looks good. I don't really have any suggestions, if I'm being honest with you. Your tight ends are a little sus. Favorite spot to pick from? Picks 1 through 4. Only thing about Sleeper I don't like is them pushing their pick'em betting on you. Oh, I didn't even know they had that. In New Jersey, where I live, sports betting itself is legal, but the underdog pick'em isn't legal. The sleeper pick'em isn't legal. So it's just a little bit different. I guess it depends where you live, right? Because if you live in a state with that, I assume they try to push it at you. And I guess it makes sense, right? A lot of people like the pick'em stuff. I'm going to drive to New York before the season starts to place my pick'em from Underdog. Cup or Hill at 3, I would go Hill. Have you been to Vegas to do IRL drafts? No. If I ever actually make enough money, though, to where I could do that, that is something I would want to do. I'd love to go to Vegas to do those like main event drafts. I just don't got the facilities for that, big man, right now. Right? I don't got the cashola for that. I got to pay for my wedding, right? I don't like using ESPN, but my friends never want to change. Yeah, I play in NFL because we've been playing NFL for years. And one of our league mates, my dad's friend, a friend of mine, Jarrell, he passed away in July. So like all of the records where he's in the league are there from the NFL, from all the years he was playing with us. So I'm not going to change the league basically because of that, right? Because otherwise the history and his mark on the league would be gone. So that's why we're going to stay on NFL. Yeah, Florida, we have pick'em, but not proper sports betting. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, so a lot of the states where you can have the regular sports book, they don't have Underdog, but the states or Sleeper or Prize Picks, but where you don't have the sports books, you get those things. Do I like Higgins? Yeah, I do. I mean, Higgins is really just a safe pick. I'm not like ecstatic to get him, but in the third round where I got him, I also drafted Mahomes, so he's the run back against Mahomes week 17. They play against each other. So that itself kind of influenced me to take him, if I'm being honest with you. But I would have definitely preferred to get Calvin Ridley. 100%. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the stream. How many likes we got right now? 85. Let's get that bish to 100. Then again, we have 85 viewers, so maybe not. Maybe not. So we're up on the clock here. The Chiefs players are just years away from us. We definitely need a receiver because we only have T. Higgins. Let's go DJ Moore back-to-back drafts here. Scoop up DJ Moore. I'm in a league for 17 years, and it's still standard. I do not like standard leagues. I don't understand. I just don't like it at all. I like half PPR or full PPR. There's just something about standard how like the receivers are just absolutely shit. Like even the receivers that absolutely smash are not great standard. Alrighty. Let's see. How many KC wide receivers are you trying to get for best ball? I'm going to try to draft 3 of them. except for Kadarius Toney. I fucking hate Kadarius Toney. At least 2, though. Hopefully we get Sky Moore. Sky Moore's my favorite out of that group. Alrighty. We still don't have a tight end, but I'm not really worried about that. Like, again, I took Hawkinson last time. I'm not fiending to take Hawkinson again. I'd probably go receiver again. I like Aaron Jones, but he's not really falling that far, right? It's pick 52. He's pick 48. That's like not really a big discount. Not a huge discount. All right, Joe Burrow. You know what's crazy? We haven't seen any bots in the chat recently. During my Sunday, and now I'm going to jinx it, but during the season, there are fucking porn bots in here. Bots trying to get you guys to stream the games on their website, right? So there's a lot of crazy shit that happens in here. But not recently. Not recently. We haven't seen a lot of the crazy bots trying to attack us. All right, we're up. We aren't going to be able to get Deontay Johnson. That kind of hurts because that's who I wanted. We're going to go with D-Hop here again. I'm all over D-Hop again. If D-Hop sucks, then I'm going down with the ship because I believe heavily that DeAndre Hopkins still has juice. I believe that not only does he have juice, I believe that Tannehill is good enough to make him potentially a top 10 receiver. Most people don't believe that, though. I am probably one of the... I don't watch a lot of fantasy content from like a million different people. Like, I just watch like my friends, like most of my friends make videos, like Caleb, who we had on the stream. I watch his videos. I watch Bush and Danny at the stock exchange. I watch Pat Mayo, watch bdge sometimes, right? I just watch really the people that I actually am friends with. But I have to think I'm one, or I watch Pete Overzet's stream as well. I have to think I am one of the highest on DeAndre Hopkins spags as well. How do you feel about the 1.5 boost for tight ends? I don't like it, if I'm being honest with you. Like, it all it does is push up some of the tight ends, but like it just makes Kelsey overpowered. Like the late round guys, it doesn't really affect too much. Is Javonte Williams someone to target? I think so late. I think AI is killing the bots literally. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking Javonte before the 5th round, 100%. You've earned a subscriber. I got to go. You stream every day? No, but I'll probably be streaming tomorrow and the next day. I don't know about Friday. So probably stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then during the football season, I stream Thursday and Sunday. Thursday before the game, Sunday before the games. Talking fantasy football. I don't think of most people who watch these streams are watching for my best ball takes. So I'd assume most of you guys are here for fantasy stuff. So yeah, we'll be talking regular redraft fantasy every Thursday, every Sunday during the season. Thanks. No problem, Sultan. I appreciate it. Chris Godwin in the 5th, man. That just feels so gross. There's something about when you take Chris Godwin that just feels disgusting. Like when you get Evans like a couple rounds later, like at least you can talk yourself into like, oh, I got him at a discount. Oh, he's actually this great receiver. When you take Godwin in the 5th round, it just feels so gross. It really does to me. Now, maybe he just ends up getting 200 targets from Baker, right? And I'm just wrong. But whenever I see him on the clock, like when I'm on the clock and I see him, I'm like, do I really want to take Chris Godwin? And most of the time, the answer is no. Now, I don't even know if I've taken him once. So let's actually check that real quick. I don't think I've taken him once. But I say that now I'm going to have like 30% Godwin. But that's just not going to be the case. Godwin, we're taking Godwin, $28 entry fees, $28 entry fees, 7.5% Godwin. So I guess I drafted Godwin maybe in my earlier drafts. Not recently. I don't think I've taken him. I haven't even considered taking him recently. I did take him to mock draft a couple days ago, but again, that's just to get like different. Just to get a little bit different to what I normally do. Switching back to the draft on the screen here. All right. Too early still to take Sky Moore. Will we be able to get Sky Moore on the comeback? Should be able to. At pick 93, Sky Moore should fall to us, I would think. If not, we'll just eat the bullet, take Tony. Hopefully we can get Pierce. Hopefully we get Pierce. I really want Pierce. Let me get Pierce. Yes. Yes. People are still sleeping on Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce is a 3-down back. Now, is he going to catch 60 balls? No. But he's going to get some upside. He's a 3-down back. With all these weird wide receiver injuries, there's got to be at least 2 gross sections of the draft for me. The Najee ETN part doesn't feel great. I agree with that. And then the McLaurin Judy feels weird too. I agree. It does feel really weird. And the McLaurin Judy range was actually one of my favorite ranges in drafts, right? I loved McLaurin. I loved Judy. But now it just feels like, you're chasing so much risk. In a 10-team draft from the 3rd spot, in between McCaffrey or Tyreek, who would you take? I would take McCaffrey. I agree, Paulie. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. Try my best to let you guys have a fun time every single time I stream. Tomorrow, we might get 3 videos. If Jonathan Taylor signs, that'll probably be a whole video in itself. Or if Jonathan Taylor gets traded. If he doesn't get traded, it's not going to warrant a whole video. I think tomorrow I'm going to be doing receiver rankings and a mock draft and then probably a stream. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow, though. Guaranteed if I make 3 videos because I might just be pooped by then. Just being honest. Marquise Brown is starting to feel really gross. This range right here feels kind of gross too. We don't have a tight end. Could go Hawk. Could go Pitts. Kind of need a receiver, but do we really want Marquise Brown? No. Let's just get Kyle Pitts on the squad. Just get Kyle Pitts. Get some Kyle Pitts action. I know a lot of you guys hate Kyle Pitts. I see the comments every time I take him. People hate Kyle Pitts because for years they took him. He sucked. And now this year, when everyone's fading him, he goes much later, right? He was like a top 5, top 4 round pick over the last couple of years. But this year he's falling. People hate him because he's screwed people over. But in the 7th to 8th round, I feel pretty good about that. Sutton worth an 8th round or 9th round pick? I think so. Pitts is good for best ball. I agree. The funny thing is, like, tight ends, once you get past, like, I'd say that the only safe tight ends in fantasy football, like, where I feel 100% safe with them, would be Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and Hockenson. Then you get in the range where it's a little more risky, like Waller. I guess Goddard also is super safe. I just don't see him finishing top 3. But I guess if you're like, want a super safe tight end, Andrews, Kelce, Hockenson, and Goddard are the safest tight ends by far. Kyle Pitts has risk. Darren Waller has risk. Now, I'm fine taking the risk, but I'm just being honest with you. There's only like 3-4 tight ends that are super safe. No, Notorious. What's up, Mac? My boy, the notorious Conor McGregor, is set to fight December 16th, I think, versus my other boy, Iron Michael Chandler. Very excited about that. Very excited about that. I need my guy Conor to get a win, man. I need him to get a win so bad. It's been hard as a McGregor fan watching him just get absolutely ragdolled these last couple of fights. I think he could have beaten Poirier, though, the 3rd time if his leg didn't get fucked up. And ceiling does beat risk in best ball. Yeah, definitely. I was kind of more referring to like redraft, right? Like the only super safe guys are that. That was my problem last year in best ball. I took a lot of safe bets. Like, I feel like I played a little too safe in these best ball drafts last year. This year, the exact opposite. I'm taking way more risks. Instead of like reaching on a player to make sure that I get him, like I'll just wait, right? And that's kind of what fucked me with Tua the last draft, right? I waited. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait, get him at a fair value, or the draft from yesterday. So I've been taking a lot more risks. Last win was a washed up Cowboy, dude. He fucking destroyed Cowboy, though. Destroyed him. I think he could have beaten, I really do think he could have beaten Poirier the 2nd time, or the 3rd time. The 2nd fight against Poirier, he was doing pretty good. He just got pieced up. That Habib fight still messes me up, though. I was so happy for Conor. I was like, dude, he's back. He's going to fucking beat Habib. And Habib destroyed him. But that was one of Habib's, I think that was like one of the few times he's ever lost a round. So, got to take the licks on that one. Any of you guys watch boxing? I did not watch the boxing fight that was last weekend, but apparently there was it was Fugazi. Like, apparently Usyk got hit with a shot, and he said he got punched in the cock, but he didn't actually get punched in the cock. It was right on the belt, and I don't know. That seemed a little bit like a Fugazi. But again, I didn't watch the whole fight. I'm not huge into boxing. I watch if Tyson Fury fights, or if there's nothing on, I'll watch boxing. Like when boxing's on ESPN, I watch. But the thing is with boxing is like the fighters will be like minus 3,000. Like you kind of already know who's going to win before it even starts. Whereas like the UFC, like a lot of the times they're not as big of favorites. What'd you think? What'd you think about Spence versus Crawford? I did watch that. I thought that was a pretty good fight. Again, that's one of the fights that I did watch. Like I watched like the big boxing fights. All right, so we got to make our pick here. We got to get Sky Moore, 100%. Got to get Sky Moore. And then we're probably going to go receiver again. 5th pick, 10-man PPR. Do I go Hill or Kelsey? I would go Hill. I would go Kelsey in 10-man. Do you watch basketball? Yes. And no. I watch basketball. Do I have like crazy basketball knowledge? No. Don't forget Mayweather rearranging McGregor's face. You know what? McGregor actually fought kind of good against Floyd, but everyone knew Floyd was going to win that. Let's be honest with you, dude. Like, let's be honest. But Floyd is another one of those guys. He's like Izzy, right? Kind of boring to watch. Kind of a boring fighter. But I respect him. All right, we're back up again. We only have 2 backs. We only have 4 receivers, though. This seems like the time to take Gibson before things start to get gross at running back. So we're going to take Gibson here. Right? Because we don't want our RB3 necessarily being like Jalen Warren or something like that. So I think we made the right move here. We have some solid receivers already. Our RB1 and 2 are pretty safe. So I feel good with this team so far. Josh Reynolds for the next pick. Yeah, dude, we're definitely going to take Josh Reynolds on the squad. What team is Josh Reynolds even on nowadays? He's on the Lions. I figured so. He is one of Goff's guys. Josh Reynolds, baby. From the Rams to the Lions. Man, I really would need a second opinion. Should I trade Olave and Hopkins, who's on my flex, for Garrett Wilson? No. Hell no. That is paying up way too much. Even if you like Garrett Wilson a lot, I'm still not doing that. Like, you'd have to be sold on that. I just can't do that. I'm not doing that. All right. I skip the whole regular season, but I like the playoffs. I like the playoffs for the NBA too. It's hard for me to follow any sport. Like, the NHL is my second favorite sport if you don't count like the UFC. But the thing is, I just can't watch it during the football season. Like, I care too much about football. I'm doing all this research. There's just no time for me to watch. I like hockey better than basketball, though. But that's basically because in hockey, I have an actual team. In the NBA, I root for like Lonzo Ball. I root for the Nets, I guess. Olave and Garrett's kind of close as is. I agree. See you later, everyone. Good stream, Nikki. See you later, Paulie. Yeah, figured. Yeah, it's a little too much. A little too spicy. Tua fallen here. He's already still available. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Scroll down. We have 69 viewers right now. Very nice. After this one, we're getting out of here, obviously. We've been streaming for an hour and 30 minutes-ish at this point. Basketball, just watch the last 4 minutes. I love college. I love March Madness. March Madness gets me way more pumped than the college or the NBA playoffs. 100%. 100% gets me way more excited. I don't know. I just like it way better. The NBA, it feels like the teams just don't give a shit. Like, even in the playoffs, like, it seems like some of the teams don't care. Like, does anyone else get that when you're watching the game? Like, the team just doesn't give a shit if they win or lose. All right. So we're up in 5 picks here. Probably don't want to go with Rashee Rice this early. But we do want to get more Chiefs players. Hopefully get Rashee Rice in the 12th round, but we'll see, because maybe in the 11th, we're going to have to pull the trigger. Maybe in the 11th. I almost want to take Tua at pick 117 because he's still here, but that does feel like kind of a reach, right? Because we don't have any Dolphins players. Probably going to end up going with Zay Jones again if he falls to us again. I want to continue to get more Zay Jones before the season starts and his ADP keeps moving up. There's a lot of running backs in this range as well, but I think we're going to go Zay Jones if he falls to us. And they'll probably go Rashee Rice. Zay Jones and Rashee Rice. Bam. Jacoby Myers might be like the most boring pick to ever make in a fantasy football draft this year, by the way. When he was on the Patriots, it was so fire because he was the wide receiver 1, but now he's the number 2 behind Devontae Adams. Same. I always watch 10 minutes, but I'm here. Only time I get some alone time is when the kids are sleeping. That's funny. A lot of running backs coming off the board here. Lots of running backs. Thank you guys for watching the stream, by the way. Zay Jones is solid. I agree. I think Zay Jones is going to have a really good season. Seems pretty... It's always weird when you draft like Mahomes that early. Like, it just feels gross. But I think I want to do it once, right? I want to get one team with Mahomes. So, like, if everything goes right, Mahomes goes bananas, we got that team with Mahomes. No, I didn't get Kelsey, but it's fine. I'm going to go Rashee Rice here. Who knows the pecking order of the receivers in Kansas City? Mahomes spreads the ball out so much that I think like having two of them, like it's likely that one of them has a good game every once in a while. I think MVS is going kind of underrated right now because of how strong MVS looked at the end of the season and then in the Super Bowl. Did MVS have anything in the Super Bowl? Let me look up the stats. Super Bowl 2022 stats. I don't think he did anything. Oh, 2023 stats. MVS team stats box score is what we're looking for. Yeah, MVS didn't have a single catch. He just had a target. Jacoby is going to have a good year, especially if he plays a lot in the slot instead of Renfro. Yeah, I just worry about Renfro being there, to be honest with you. I'm just not a huge fan of the Raiders, like aside from the top two guys. Maybe I'm sleeping on Jacoby Myers, but he just seems like a boring pick. With the Jimmy G under center. Seems kind of boring. A lot of quarterbacks just came off the board all in a row. Danny Dimes, Big Cock Brock, and Jared Goff. Probably looking at a Tannehill team here, because again, if you draft Mahomes so early, like you might as well just assume Mahomes is going to carry us to the promised land and then just draft some rando quarterback super late. He does know the system, that is true, because he is from the New England Patriots, and as is Josh McDaniels. Our channel's been growing pretty quickly recently. I appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing. We are almost at 24,900 subscribers, which maybe we can hit tomorrow. If we don't hit it tomorrow, it's okay though. You know, no sweat off my back. I'll be fine with that. Hopefully we can hit 25K soon though. That is the big goal there. 25K subscribers, and then 30K, and then 40K, 50K, 100K. I wonder at what point, like, you make so much money off YouTube that I wouldn't need to get like an actual job. Like, I got let go from my job a couple months ago. I'm still looking for another job, but like, at what point would I not need a job? Like, I think I would have to have like literally like 50,000 subscribers or something crazy like that, or just actually post my rankings on Patreon, like not like a week before the season starts, post them a couple weeks before the season starts. If you guys do want my rankings for PPR, they are on Patreon. The half PPR rankings are coming tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we'll get a video. And then, as always, in the afternoon, you get a video. And then probably a live stream as well. Hopefully, Jonathan Taylor gets traded to the Dolphins, though, because then you'll get a video of me fucking pumping it up. Getting real pumped. You gotta pump it up. People have been talking negatively about Schultz. I'm starting to get worried about Schultz. I was a big Schultz guy. Now we're talking about Schultz not playing as much in the two wide receiver sets. Oh, it's a little bit scary. So we're back up on the clock. Mostert going in the 12th round. I'm a Mostert guy, but that's a little bit crazy. So let's go. Just go Higbee here. Higbee and Pitts have different bye weeks. Probably going to go 3 tight ends on this team. Probably going to go 2 quarterbacks. When things come back to us, though, we'll go with a different running back. I've been going Higbee. I like Higbee a ton in drafts. He's the clear number 2 weapon in LA behind Kupp. The question, though, is will Stafford actually be healthy, right? How healthy is Stafford? That's a big question to me. How healthy is Matthew Stafford? Now, he should be healthy right now, but like with those spine injuries, like when it gets cold, they get fucked up. Then again, they play in a dome, but I don't know. Kind of scares me a little bit. I think if you have like 0 worries about Stafford entering the season, you're a little crazy. He's kind of a floor play, though. Yeah, he's definitely a safer play, but we have Pitts, the high upside play, so I'm fine doing that. Will you do a 10-team double quarterback league? Tonight, no, I'm probably not going to do a mock draft of that, but maybe I will do one this week, but I don't know. But I will tell you the strategy in double quarterback leagues is to get 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds. And then after that, you can basically just draft based upon value, and then make sure you get a 3rd quarterback before things get really gruesome for your 3rd quarterback. Who was Zeke there? I actually like Zeke a little bit more than other people. I think he is washed, but would it surprise me if he got like 8 touchdowns? And in best ball, that's just clutch as fuck, right? He's going to enter your lineup a couple of times. In redraft, he's not as sexy, though. Not as sexy. Probably going to go either Tannehill or Stafford on his team. Probably Tannehill, though, because I actually like Tannehill a decent amount. I think Tannehill has some solid rushing upside. Would have loved to get the boy Sam Howell, but I don't have. We only have Gibson, and there's no other Commanders players that go this late besides it gets Curtis Samuel. You ever do full team breakdowns that you still give your fancy opinion on, like a full NFL team breakdown? Or are you talking about like a full fantasy team breakdown? If you send your fantasy team in, I can talk about it a decent amount. I'm not going to go crazy in depth because we are on stream and there's other people watching. But if you have like a question about your team, I'll talk about it. If you're talking about like the NFL teams, like if you want a breakdown of like my thoughts on like the Jets or something. All right. Let's go back to the board. Khaleesi is in our draft, by the way. What a fire name that is. Khaleesi. Oh, Khaleesi. Fucking Game of Thrones. The way that shit ended still pisses me off. The way that Bran, the cripple, is the king. Come on, man. That should have been Jon Snow. Should have been Littlefinger. Not Littlefinger. Should have been... Oh, what's the short guy's name? Peter Dinklage. What is his name in the show? That's how much it pisses me off. I haven't even rewatched it. I watched it once, never watched it again. I am excited, though, for the other Game of Thrones, like the House of Dragon. That show is so gas. It was annoying how it came out last year, like during the football season. So I would watch like Monday night or Sunday night football during Game of Thrones. So I'd be watching both at the same time. It was kind of hard to follow. Tyrion. That's his name. Tyrion. Yep, you guys are right. I'm just an idiot. Tyrion. I also like Jaime as well. Jaime was a guy that I liked. Loved Jaime. Jaime Lannister. That show was so fire, dude, and they fucking ruined it. It was so good. Oh, man. 2023, same question remains. Ass or titties? I'm still... Yeah, definitely the answer is both, but if I had to pick one, it would be titties over ass. If I had to pick, though. Thank you for the donation, John. I'm pretty sure John has asked me this question like every year for like the last 5 years, it feels like at this point. All the buildup I've got for a lot of the story to not have mattered. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was pretty sad how it ended, like with all that hype. Why the fuck is Jake Ferguson going this high? Like, I get why people like Jake Ferguson, but Jesus. Tight end 19 for Jake Ferguson. That's a little spicy for me. A little spicy for me. The running backs in this range are gross. We're going to go Kendre Miller. I think Kendre Miller could see some playing time. And then we're going to jam some receivers here. And then hope Tannehill falls back to us. I mean, what are the odds someone takes Tannehill ahead of us for 189, right? Like, what are the odds? I think pretty low that someone takes Tannehill. There's no way anyone likes Tannehill that much. Tannehill goes undrafted in a lot of these drafts. You guys remember how good Tannehill was, though, a couple years ago? That was awesome. As a Dolphins fan, as a Tannehill guy, it was awesome to see. Luke Musgrave getting a lot of hype as well. I like Luke Musgrave, though. Probably going to end up going 3 tight ends on this team, though, because, again, Pitts is kind of risky. And I feel pretty good with our receiver core. We have around 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we need one more quarterback, one more tight end. So we're probably going to go running back, receiver, quarterback, tight end with the last couple picks. I'm going to go receiver here, though. Tank Dell moving up heavily. He is a very boomer bust guy, right? Like, I could see him smashing this season. I could see him doing absolutely nothing. But I guess in best ball, that's kind of what you're hoping for, right? A guy that might go out there, certifiably smash, or a guy that scores 0 points. Like a hour-long video, 5-minute segments of your thoughts on every team, not necessarily regarding fantasy. Oh, yeah, that is a good idea. That is a good idea. I could do that. I don't know, though. I mean, there's just so many videos to make, and there's so little time before Monday. Because, right, once we hit Monday, everything is about week 1 once we hit Monday. So so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all that is going to be about week 1. So we're kind of running out of time to do it. But if you want my opinion on like what I think like the Super Bowl is going to be or whatever, I honestly think it's going to be Chiefs versus 49ers, the rematch. I think the Chiefs are just like that's like a safe way to go, right? All the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl. Who would have guessed? But let's be honest with you. The Chiefs are like a fucking complete utter powerhouse. And I think if Brock Purdy stays healthy, they would have been in the Super Bowl last year. Do you think Khalil Herbert has a chance of being a top 20 running back? Yes, I do think so. I do think so. I think Khalil Herbert's actually really good. Treylon Burks was back at practice today, which is pretty interesting. I thought Burks was going to miss some time into the season. Doesn't really affect my opinion on DeAndre Hopkins. I still really like DeAndre Hopkins. It just kind of makes Chig, like if you drafted Chig, it feels a little grosser, right? Knowing that Burks is going to be there for the first couple of weeks of the season. Chig is a pretty gross pick regardless, right? Because DeAndre Hopkins, red zone threat. Derrick Henry, red zone threat, right? So now you're like the third option in the red zone, maybe even the fourth behind Burks. Like it's just not a great scenario to be in. Not a great scenario to be in. Shout out to all 50 of y'all still watching the stream. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a ton if you guys hit the like button on the stream if you haven't already. I'll run the little banner at the bottom of the screen here. It does make me lag a little bit, so I'm only going to run it for a couple of seconds, but hit that like button. Smash that fucking like button like it owes you money. Shake that ass for me. All right. Adam Troutman in the 15th round. Adam Troutman in the year 2023. Are people trolling? Like, that seems like a troll pick. Like, are you just fucking around if you draft Adam Troutman? Oh, my Nick, Adam Troutman's playing over Greg Dulcich. You really think when push comes to shove during the regular season, Dulcich isn't going to be the number 1 tight end? Sure, it might be gross for the first couple of weeks. Adam Troutman seems like I get, Adam Troutman, 18th round. You're throwing a dart on your third tight end. You're hunting for some pure, unadulterated upside. Go ahead. Right? Go right ahead and do that. But in that early of a round, in the 15th round for Adam Troutman, like, I don't like Troutman that much. I don't think anyone likes Troutman that much. That's just crazy. Make sure you guys sign up for Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. Promo code Notorious for that first match deposit bonus of up to $100. Helps me out a ton if you sign up. Plus, it's also fun. This is how I burn a lot of time. Like when there's like $5 drafts, just sit there and do like a bunch of $5 drafts, waste an hour. But I got nothing to do. Or at night before I go to sleep, get the brain flowing. Do some drafts right before I go to bed. I do that a ton. All right, so we're going to be up soon. I think we are going to have to take Tannehill with one of these picks because we really don't want to get cucked out and not getting Tannehill. Even though Tannehill isn't like a guy you need to draft in the 16th round, if we don't get him, I'm going to be pissed because I don't want to draft any of these other guys that we don't have stacks with. So it's kind of the thought process here. Me, Cole Hardman, coming off the board. Let's go Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill. And then we need our tight end. And then either a receiver or a running back. Ryan Tanbuttle. What a name. So our running backs, we got McCaffrey, Pierce, Gibson, Elliott, Miller. The running backs are a little sus. The receivers, we got T. Higgins, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Sky Moore, Zay Jones, Rashi Rice, Tank Dell. The receivers are a lot less sus than the running backs. So don't want to spoil who I'm going with here because you never know. Like people might be in this draft that are watching the stream, they're not talking. That's happened to me before where like I do a whole draft and someone's like, "Can you rank my team?" And they don't tell me they're in the draft, and then like I'm just talking about my strategy blatantly, and then they just get taken from me. I wonder how close I am to getting a badge on here. I do so many drafts and I still don't have a badge. Need that badge. Need that. All right, come on, bro. I was not going to take Richie James. I'm Rick James, bitch, on this team because we already have 2 Chiefs receivers. Let's go Kareem Hunt for the upside he signs with the team. And if he goes to the Colts and the Dolphins trade for Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt, his ADP is going to move up to like the 8th round. Does anyone disagree with that? Like if the Dolphins, for instance, they don't trade them a running back, and then the Colts just have Evan Hull and Deion Jackson, like I think they would easily pay the price for Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, I think we talked about this yesterday. Imagine what his career would have been if he didn't just fucking kick that lady. Like if he didn't do that, we'd be talking about him multiple Super Bowls. Maybe a Super Bowl, what's that called? Like a Super Bowl MVP, right? Like maybe we put him in much higher regards. They give you a special set of Underdog knee pads with the badge. Yeah, that's a pretty funny joke, but yeah, that's true. I don't do all of my drafts on Underdog. I think Underdog is the best place to do your drafts. But I'll be honest, the DraftKings drafts are a little bit easier, right? You're drafting with some guys that have no idea what they're doing. It's a little easier than this. This is like the harder rooms, but the tournaments are a lot better on here than any other website. Unless you're talking drafters, where drafters, like their big tournament isn't even going to end up filling. And there's going to be overlay. I have a code on there as well if anyone wants to do a draft on there. Do you think Mike Evans or Chris Godwin produce more this year? I think Godwin produces more, but at his price, Godwin is way grosser than Evans. Like Evans goes like the 7th, 8th round. Godwin in the 5th round just feels like a disgusting pick. Like I'm not saying he's a guaranteed flop, but that is a gross pick. Right? That's gross. You think the Vikings going to sign someone, or is Madison locked in? I think Jonathan Taylor might get traded to the Vikings. I've been a little bit more cautious on my Madison takes recently. This has been one of the, like, if you did your draft a couple of weeks ago, this is one of the worst years to have done that because of how much, like the holdouts, all that, like it's really gross. And like fucking Kareem Hunt left the Vikings without a contract. Leonard Fournette seems like he's not signing anywhere until like the middle of the season and someone gets hurt. Hey, that's what's going to happen with Hunt. Very interesting. I don't think the Vikings are going to bring anyone else in. They could, though. Like the Rams. Like I like Akers, but I don't think Akers is safe. I think like Jonathan Taylor could show up to LA. He could show up to Chicago, but all the reports from Chicago are that he is not coming there. But you never know. Maybe it's Fugazi, right? And he ends up showing up there. So I definitely think there's a lot of conversations to be had about what's going to happen with these backfields. And again, it's never been this ambiguous, right? We've never had guys like Jacob, Saquon, Jonathan Taylor all holding out the same offseason, right? We never have this. Normally it's just like one running back's being an asshole, right? This time we saw 3. There's a lot of uncertainty right now in the NFL. This is the first time I think that's ever happened. Could Cousins finish as a top 8 quarterback? Yes, but he'd be quarterback 8. Like, Cousins is one of the safest quarterbacks to draft, but he's never going to be like quarterback 4 or 3. Could he be quarterback 7? Maybe. But I'd say like 8 is his ceiling, and his floor is like quarterback 14. So Cousins is like never going to fuck you over when you draft him, but you're also never like, oh my God, I got Kirk Cousins, I'm so happy, right? That's just kind of how I think about things. So we are about to go with our final pick in this draft. And then we're going to skedaddle out of here because we've been streaming for 2 hours. 2 whole hours. We're just getting started. Ooh. All right. So we're either going wide receiver or tight end. Our tight end is Higbee and Pitts. Our receiver core is Higgins, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Sky Moore, Zay Jones, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell. So I feel like our receivers feel grosser than our tight ends. But at some point, it's like, are these receivers even worth it? I kind of like Marvin Jones. Like Randall Cobb's going to have a couple good games. But like, how often are these guys going to actually enter our lineup? Like, I could see John Mechie entering our lineup a couple of times. But he might also not be as great as I thought he was going to be. So let's just go tight end. Let's just get a third tight end on the squad. Let's go Cade Otton. He could have a good season there. A lot of people are just hating on him because Baker's the quarterback. Mixon or Najee, non-PPR, can't decide. I'm going Mixon. I don't think there is a scenario, barring injury, where Mixon loses his job as the RB1. Could one of the other running backs work in more than we're used to? Yes. But will Mixon lose his job outright without an injury? I don't think so. I would be perplexed, shocked, led astray if that was to happen. But I wouldn't be shocked if Najee lost his job, right? I think there's a chance where, like, Mixon could get hurt, and I think he comes back and he's still the RB1. If Najee gets hurt and Warren stunts for a game or two, Najee's time to come back. Najee's riding the pine, maybe. So, just in terms of that alone, like, I think their upside's similar, so I'd rather just go with the safer guy, right? Najee, they both could finish as, like, top 8 RBs, right? But Mixon's significantly safer, and they have the same upside, so I'm going Mixon 100% over Najee. In non-PPR, would you trade Mike Evans and David Montgomery for Garrett Wilson? Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to expound upon that. I'm doing that 100%. 100%. I'm trading Mike Evans and David Montgomery for Garrett Wilson. Doing an 8-man league draft for the very first time this season. Any advice on different strategies to approach 18 versus a 10-team or 12-man? So 8 and 10-man, way closer together than a 12-man. 8 or 10-man. So for 18 league, draft an elite tight end, draft an elite quarterback. I'm fine taking a quarterback and a tight end together in the first 2 rounds. If you don't get Kelsey, that's fine. Wait until the third, get Andrews. If you can't get Andrews, then, try to get another elite tight end. If you can't, it is what it is, right? So you want at least an elite quarterback or an elite tight end, because every single fucking team is going to be loaded to the gills. Doesn't matter if the person you're drafting with has never watched football in their life. Their team is going to be loaded. So make sure you draft an elite quarterback or an elite tight end or both in those kind of leagues. And Sam, you got it, man. Love the channel. Thank you so much, Sam. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to all you guys who watched tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you to all of those who super chatted tonight. Shout out to Sam, as well as my boy John. Thank both of you guys for super chatting. I appreciate it a ton. I love you guys all. We're going to recap our team here, and then we're going to skedaddle. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Thank you to all of you guys that watched the stream. I do appreciate it. We had about 120-something viewers to start. Pivoted down to like 50, but I assume some other streamer fucking fired up and everyone left for them. But it is what it is, right? It's also getting a little bit later, right? People have to go to bed. It's not like a Saturday or something. I appreciate you all anyways. I love you guys so much. So our team, and again, I don't mean to sound like I'm sad or like that people like left the stream. It's not a big deal. Pat Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill, quarterbacks. Our running backs are Christian McCaffrey, Damian Pierce, Antonio Gibson, Ezekiel Elliott, Kendrick Miller, and Kareem Hunt. Our receivers are T. Higgins, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Sky Moore, Zay Jones, Rashee Rice, Tank Dell. Our tight ends are Kyle Pitts, Tyler Higbee, and Mr. K. Dotton. So I definitely like the team we drafted last time better, but I wanted to make it clear that I wanted to get Patrick Mahomes on one of these teams. I don't think I've drafted Patrick Mahomes more than once. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes. I haven't even drafted him once. I've drafted Tim Patrick more, and Tim Patrick's out for the fucking season. So that shows you how much I have of Pat Mahomes. You got it, man. Love the channel. Thank you again, Sam. I appreciate it. And then my home league is 12 teams. Let me draft Chase, Bijan, Josh Jacobs the first 3 rounds. Well, congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning, because you're drafting with a bunch of buffoons. So again, promo code Notorious on Underdog if you guys want to sign up. First match deposit bonus of up to $100. You deposit $100, they give you an additional $100. You deposit $50, additional $50, $25, additional $25. Minimum deposit's $10. If you want my PPR rankings, the half PPR rankings, and the top 150 for half PPR and full PPR will be out tomorrow on the Patreon. $7.50. You can literally give up after 1 month. You don't have to keep following it. Or you can pay for the whole season. Keep re-upping, and you'll get all the rankings on there, and you'll for the regular season, and you will also be able to just message me whenever. I always answer on Patreon. It's not a guarantee that I answer in the comment section, and during the streams as well. During these, it's a guarantee that I'm going to answer, but during the regular season, I am getting fucking barraged. I'm getting shot by a million questions every single stream, but I do appreciate you guys. I love you guys all so much. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Hit the like on the way out. I'm going to hit the outro. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow in the morning with another video. Adios, mis amigos.